Yeah. Peace, family. Peace. So I mentioned how, in my previous video, I mentioned how political parties like the EFF and the ANC and the DA protect criminals at the expense of South Africans, tax-paying citizens, voting citizens. They protect criminals and crime at the expense of the people of this country who deserve to be protected. But when you really look at the history of these political parties and how and why they were formed, then you start to appreciate why they have a high propensity for lies, high propensity for committing crimes and protecting criminals. Because these organizations themselves, these political parties, are criminal organizations. Think about it. There's criminals around this country, whether it's criminals from Nigeria, criminals from Ghana, criminals from Zimbabwe, criminals from Malawi, criminals from Somalia, criminals from South Africa, criminals from Europe, from the Americas, Eastern Europe, Asia, Chinese. This country is run by criminals. You can have a Nigerian, right? Upright citizen of Nigeria who comes to South Africa, law abiding. They're not going to go that far. But they have a Nigerian who's a criminal. They will go very far in this country. Clubs being run by Serbians and Russians, Eastern Europeans, those mafias. You might as well say that then it's the government responsible for this, because they're the ones who let it happen. You have syndicates who are responsible for taking people from Pakistan, from Afghanistan, from Bangladesh, sending them to South Africa, and then they run shops here. They run shops selling unapproved foods, untested items to South Africans. And when South Africans fight, then they're labeled xenophobic, which is complete garbage, complete and utter rubbish. But then this points to a big problem. You know what the problem is? The people in power. Helen Suzman Foundation, the Democratic Alliance, all these so-called foundations, charities, political parties, all these things that are purportedly helping people, they're actually the ones destroying people. And the ones trying to help people are shut down or completely exterminated. What happened to people like Steve Biko, who are appealing to people's consciousnesses? What happened to people like Chris Hani, who actually wanted actual change? I'm not saying they were perfect, not at all actually. They probably had a lot of skeletons as well. But then at least they're aligned with the people. Now you have people like Blaine Zimande. As a minister, what is Blaine Zimande doing? Because I remember when students were protesting fees must fall, he laughed it off and said students must fall. To him it was a big joke, because he was not the one sleeping outside. He was not the one forced to sleep with Nigerians and other drug dealers in Cape Town because they didn't have accommodation. He was not the one forced to go to bed hungry because they didn't have food, because there were no allowances. It was not his kids either who were going hungry at university. He said students must fall, and yet he still has some position in the cabinet. You have people like Natim Tedwa, whose concern is building it hundreds of millions worth of a flag. When 7 out of 10 young people in this country are unemployed, you're busy thinking about flags. And these people are still in power. When you've got people like Ofikile Mbalula who run a department down, they're running it down. There's only one machine to print license cards in this country. And when it breaks down, they have to take it to Germany. Think about that for a minute. One machine, and when it breaks down, it has to be taken to Germany. So no license cards can be printed until the machine comes back from Germany in 2022 in so-called democratic South Africa. Men are killing themselves. Boys are killing themselves. Girls are getting killed. Women are getting killed. and your president is concerned about selling cows and stealing money, hiding it in sofas and mattresses. And yet you still have people who want to vouch for this system. What's going on? What is happening? You've got rapists who are mayors, human traffickers who are ministers, people who've been implicated in serious crimes. They sell bodies, they sell human bodies, they sell living humans, and yet they're still in power. Who's that woman? Nosiviwe Mapisa Ngagula. It's her. She was implicated. She has allegations, and there's rumors that she's actually a human trafficker. I believe it. I believe they all are. I believe that those buildings that are hijacked in Joburg, actually, they're not just hijacked. These politicians benefit from them. You've got racists such as Helen Zille, Nazis. She's a German Nazi who come and tell you that colonialism was beneficial. It was good for us. I'm not shocked though, because the DA is really just a child of the National Party, the apartheid National Party. It's really just a child of that party. So for me, I'm not shocked at all. I kind of expect it, actually. I'm also not shocked that in Cape Town you see a clear difference when you're in a white dominated neighborhood, which is a white neighborhood basically, and a black neighborhood. I mean, the black neighborhoods are not even neighborhoods, they're really just concentration camps. I would never call a township a neighborhood. It's a concentration camp. If you live in a township, you live in a concentration camp. It's a prison with usually one entrance and one exit only, so that the police can stand there by the gate and imprison all of you. You clearly see the difference when you're in a township and when you're in a white neighborhood in Cape Town. And I'm not shocked. It's, for me, like it's something that anyone with common sense should expect. You know, all over the Western Cape it's like that. Whether you're in the Garden Route or you're in the West Coast, it's like that. It's white, colored, and everything in between, and then so-called black. And everyone loves it except for black people. Other people love it. A lot of people love it that way, you know, because they want to prove to their white masters that, hey, we are not like these blacks. You find Asians who are anti-black because they don't want to be identified with blacks. Hey, we're not like them. So let's hate them. Let's show these white masters of ours that we're like you. We're closer to you, master. Oh man, I love this world that we live in. It's so amazing, the things you'll see on a daily basis. And when you start speaking and acting and people think you're crazy, maybe we are crazy. Maybe you need to be crazy, actually. Maybe that's what's needed. And maybe we're not crazy enough. I mean, for the fact that someone like Ramaphosa, who has questionable origins, actually. I mean, some people say he's from Kenya. It's questionable. We don't know where he's from. Someone like Ramaphosa running a country. Huh? We still have people like that running a country. Thieves, wife beaters, running a country, and no one says anything about it. Those who speak out, you know, their voices are usually suppressed and they die out at some point. Back, I think, in 2013 or 2014, the EFF went to Nigeria to visit this guy, TB Joshua, apparently for blessings. And the same TB Joshua starts prophesying that in South Africa there's going to be a revolution. Huh? I don't know. Did he just prophesy it, or did he fund it as well? Or did his friends fund it? Never know. Maybe they were funding it. And maybe that would explain why the leader of that party would die without acknowledging the crimes committed by those citizens in this country. So when you have such people dictating your politics, dictating the narrative out there, what do you expect? Obviously, the country is going to be a haven for criminals. South Africa is a haven for criminals with the highest murder rate in the world. More people are dying here than in all these so-called war zones. There's more people dying in South Africa than a war zone. More people are getting raped in South Africa than a war zone. We are only second to Russia with suicide rates amongst our men. So we are the best for the worst things, because we have the highest inequality. The top 3,500 richest people in this country, 3,500 people. 3,500 people, they own more than 32 million people. So the top 3.5 people, top 3,500 have more wealth than the bottom 32 million. And 32 million is half of this country. So half of this country are worth less than the top 3,500 people. I don't think you understand that. And we know those top 3,500 people are a particular group and a particular gender and a particular bloodline. And it's going to stay like that, eh? Nothing's going to change. If you're fooling yourself, you think, things are going to change, equality. It's not going to happen. It's not happening. Wake up. You lost land. You lost cows. You lost sheep. You lost your culture. You lost your spiritual system. You lost your value. You lost everything. And then you got your voting right at the end of the day. That's what you fought for. You fought for your voting right. And you said, thank you, master. You lost everything. And then you got a voting right after that. And nothing else. Just a voting right. All you can do is vote now. You can't have your land. You can't have your culture. You're scared of your culture. You think it's demonic. Huh? I remember asking this one lady one time, what's your clan name? I wanted to know her. She's like, no, those things are demonic, man. Think about it. Your clan name is demonic, but calling yourself John is not demonic. Calling yourself Arthur is not demonic, but calling yourself by the people who gave birth to you is demonic. What's going on? What's happening, people? So the real freedom here is gonna require a lot of hard work. At an individual level, you will need to work hard on yourself. Start with your own beliefs from birth. Everything you know is upside down. Everything, and I mean everything. Everything you think is real is upside down. Everything. From the world you think you're living in a spinning ball, spinning at more than 1,000 kilometers an hour. You think the sun is 1 billion kilometers away. Everything that you've been taught, everything, upside down, including you. You think less of yourself because they've been taught so. It's upside down. So the people you think are the saviors are actually the destroyers, and the people you were taught are the wrong ones. They're actually the right ones. You see? The people are praised on social media, even from a historical perspective, man. From a historical perspective, the ones who are praised, the ones who are put out there on your face, on your TV screens, this one, he was a great man. A lot of them are just compromised bastards, weaklings who couldn't stand for one thing. So this country is a crime haven with the highest murder rates, Cape Town being the murder capital of the world, with the highest rape records, the highest suicide rates, with the highest levels of inequality. 60% of all Aboriginal people, so-called black people, 60% of all the Aboriginal people of this land are living in poverty. 60%. So out of all black people that you see there, 6 out of 10 are poor. And you're telling me that you're free? Who owns the food that you eat? You go there, you even make umkomboti from king corn. Who owns that? Who owns king corn? Maybe you should start doing some research, eh? Who owns that iwisa and white star that you eat? Who owns the food you eat? Because the people who feed you, if they stop, you're dying. Who owns the clothes you wear? The apartment you rent out, car you drive. See, we need to start thinking along this way. If all we want to think about is soft life and vibes, I'm sorry, man, but you'll always be slaves. We'll always be slaves to everyone else. Think about the size of your penis. You wanna boast about that? The size of your bums. I've got big bums. I've got big bums. Yes, you do. So what? You're still a slave. A slave with big bums. A slave with big penis. You're tall, dark, and handsome. You're muscular. You have a deep voice like myself. You do, yeah. But you're still a slave. You don't own anything. You don't have power over anyone. Everyone hates you in the world. You're hated. You're a curse. You're a curse, which is actually the opposite. Everywhere you go. You remember in China when this Wuhan thing happened, they were blaming the black people there. Ah, it's you, black people. In China, in Ukraine, when this so-called war happened, they were leaving the black people behind. It's always been like that, huh? To this day. And all you want, you blacks, you want to be integrated with them, with everyone else. Nobody wants to be integrated with you. You want to be integrated. You've been fooled, man. Do you know why? Because the people who educate you, you're not educated by your own people. The curriculum is not set by your governments. The TV you watch is not dictated by your people. You watch rubbish on TV. The belief system you have. You believe some blonde guy with blue hair is going to come and help you. Anyway, I'm out. Till next time.